And we are live from Damascus city in Syria. Look at how beautiful the city is. It's kind of windy today. And it's your boy Treka. How's everyone doing? Hope you are all having a nice day. Just chilling in my balcony, drinking some tea. And I came on to talk to you guys about the situation in Syria, the updates and so on. I'm gonna wait a little while for people to join in. Phone Fame is saying, hey Treka, hi. Flavorful Fit is saying, what's going on in Afghanistan? Well, as you can see, Joe Biden is sending more troops to Afghanistan. The Taliban has taken over. And it's crazy over there, you know, like I have many questions, you know. It's like American troops are being sent to Afghanistan, and American troops have been in Afghanistan for how many years now? Since 2001, 2020, 2002. So you're talking almost 20 years. And you want to convince me that the American military, the strongest military in the world, in 20 years they've been in Afghanistan and they couldn't somehow, you know, liberate this country from these jihadist groups. It just doesn't make sense, you understand? I'm gonna wait a couple of days to see what is happening more over there, do more research, and I'll soon do a video about Afghanistan and like how the whole thing started. Let us all not forget that America played a huge role in the creation of Al-Qaeda and Taliban in that region. If the people that read history, they know what I'm talking about. Afghanistan was under the control of the Soviet Union, and the American government wanted to, you know, defeat the Soviet Union. So what did they do? They started funding jihadists in Pakistan and bringing all these jihadist groups and giving them money and weapons just because they wanted to kick out the Soviet Union from Afghanistan. And they succeeded in doing that. After they funded all these jihadists and gave them money and weapons and so on, they were able to kick out the Soviet Union from Afghanistan. But after that, what did America do? They were like, okay, our job here is done, goodbye. And they left all these jihadist people in control and around the area. And of course, these groups started bringing more babies and so on. And just spreading the extremist ideology all over the area. So America played a very huge role in the existence of the Taliban and Al-Qaeda in that region, you understand? And now they're saying, oh, we need to send more troops there and so on. It's like, why do you want to send more troops there? Okay, you want to bring out the Americans that are there, bring them back home safely. Okay, I agree with that. But after you bring out all the American people in Afghanistan, are you going to pull out all your troops from Afghanistan, or are you going to keep them? They're going to tell you, no, we want to defeat these Taliban people. Okay, but you guys have been there for 20 years. 20 years in Afghanistan. How the hell didn't you guys, you know, get rid of them in these 20 years? What the hell were you guys doing over there in this since 2001? But it's obvious, America wants to keep their military troops there so that they can have power over the region. Don't forget that America attacked Afghanistan and Iraq at the same time, you know. I think it was Afghanistan first, then they went to Iraq. And these two countries are in the border with who? With Iran. So if you look at the map now of America's military bases, you would see American military bases in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Saudi Arabia. They're all, you know, surrounding Iran. But of course, the American military or government, they'll tell you other stories. Oh, we are there to liberate the people of Afghanistan because we care. If you guys really cared about the safety of the Afghanistani people, you wouldn't have, funded all these jihadists in Pakistan and Afghanistan and make them get control of all, the area. And of course, there is oil in Afghanistan. Don't forget that, like the military bases, or even I think the company that is taking oil from Afghanistan is an American company from California. I forgot the name. So, like, don't believe every single thing the American government is telling you, because they lie a lot. But soon I'll do a video about Afghanistan with more details. I'll show you the facts and all of this stuff, videos. There's even a video of Hillary Clinton saying the things that I am telling you now. So the military-industrial complex is a very, dirty, they're dirty people. In their eyes, war is just a business. They make money, they profit out of it. They don't care about the American troops that died in Afghanistan or died in Syria or died in Iraq or in Libya. They don't care about the American people that they're sending them overseas to the Middle East to do wars that have nothing to do with America's national security. And I am a Syrian and I live in Syria, you understand? And I'm not really surprised like some American people get surprised when they hear this stuff, because the American government did the same exact thing in my country, Syria. So the American government under the Obama days, they wanted to overthrow the Syrian government. They didn't like the Syrian government, because the Syrian government is not a puppet to the West. And they don't take their orders from America, and America doesn't like that. They don't like to see a country that has an independent president and an independent government. So they wanted to overthrow Assad. They tried to make the people overthrow him, but they saw that the majority of the people support the Syrian government. So they said, okay, the only way for us to overthrow this government is to do the same thing we did with Afghanistan, with the Soviet Union. So they started funding ISIS and Al-Qaeda and all these extremist jihadist terrorist groups. And these jihadist terrorist groups, they were coming from all over the world, because it's not about nationality. You guys need to learn this. It's about ideology. So you could be an ISIS member if you're from Afghanistan or Saudi Arabia or Pakistan or Libya or Syria or Iraq or Turkey or whatever, as long as you share the same extremist Wahhabi ideology. So it's not about nationality. So that's how they were able to send all these jihadist fighters and terrorist groups. They were entering Syria from all over, because Syria has border is very big because it is with many other countries. So you have Syria in the middle. In the north you have Turkey, then you have Iraq, then you have Lebanon, then you have Jordan, you understand? So they were able to send all these troops from all of these borders. They were of course entering illegally. They weren't entering with visas. So they were entering this country, and America was providing them with money and weapons and like technology and all of this stuff. And all of this stuff, guys, was happening under Obama and Joe Biden. So you have the current president of America today, Joe Biden, played a very, very huge role in destroying Syria. So that's why when you guys were asking me when the election was done, what do you think of Joe Biden being president? I told you that's like one of the worst news I could ever hear, because I know for a fact that Joe Biden is a warmonger, he's a criminal, he has blood on his hands, and he played a very huge role in destroying Syria, because he was the vice president of Obama when they started bombing Syria, sending weapons and funding ISIS and all of this stuff. So this is how it is. So after many years passed in the war, because now the war in Syria is 10 years, it started in 2011, look, we are in 2021. So after many years, when they saw that they weren't able to overthrow the Syrian government, what did they start doing? They started implementing harsh and cruel economic sanctions so that they can make the people die of hunger, hoping that if, let's say, the majority of the Syrian people die of hunger, then they will reach to the point where they will get sick of their government and then, overthrow the Syrian government. So to them, this is all a game. They don't care. They don't care about innocent people dying. They don't care about destroying a country that is thousands and thousands of years old, creating a refugee crisis. Millions of Syrians had to run away from their country to different countries because life in Syria became dangerous. And on top of all of this stuff, we have economic sanctions. And these economic sanctions have destroyed the economy of Syria in ways you guys cannot imagine. Like, I have spoken about this in my old in my old videos, but I would repeat because I'm getting, you know, a lot of new followers, and not everybody knows what is going on. So how did the economic sanctions that America imposed on Syria, how is it affecting Syria? First of all, it's called the Caesar Act, or the Caesar sanctions, and this was implemented by Donald Trump. First of all, we can't import and export. Second of all the embassies in Syria were forced to close. No private or foreign company is allowed to do business with Syria. MasterCard and PayPal is not allowed, meaning you can't make money online, you can't make money from YouTube or whatever, because online transaction is not allowed in Syria. So PayPal, MasterCard is not allowed, no embassies. And in all of this stuff, after all of this stuff, we started having problems. Like, we started having a bread crisis, we started having a fuel crisis, we started having oil crisis. And why is that? Because when America is in Syria, if you guys look at the locations where America is in Syria, you would always find it. I don't know if it's a coincidence. Of course, it's not a coincidence. But why is it that every single place where America is in Syria are places that are rich in oil? So America, throughout all these years, they've been stealing Syria's oil and exporting it outside. They either take it to Iraq and give it to the military base there, or they sell it in the black market. And that's how we started having a fuel crisis. Like, Syria is a country that has its own fuel and gas, but all of these areas, they're in control of the military, American military base. And of course, logically speaking, you know, Syria is a poor third world country. Our army and military can't kick out the American military from Syria. So they're stealing our oil. Second of all, how did we start having a wheat crisis, meaning bread crisis? How did we start having that? The American military bases in the north are burning Syria's wheat fields. That's how we started having, because normally Syria doesn't import wheat from any other country, and we don't import oil or gas from any other country, because we have our oil, we have our gas, and we have our wheat and crops and all of this stuff. But America saw that this would keep the Syrian country and economy to survive a little bit. So they are taking all of this stuff away from us. And when Joe Biden became president, the situation only got worse. As soon as he became president, after 30 days exactly, he bombed Syria. He dropped rockets on us. He's still stealing our oil, bombing us every now and then. They're protecting the jihadists. And this is what they've been doing for the past 10 years. Imagine, for the past 10 years of your life, this is what is happening to your country. And like, you're powerless. Like, what exactly, you know, can you do about it, you know? All I can do is spread awareness about the truth, tell you guys what is going on, because I'm a Syrian, I am living in Syria, I am seeing what everything's happening in front of me. And you guys are people that care and want to know exactly what your government is doing in the Middle East, you know? Because let's not forget that many American soldiers are dying because of these wars also. So it's not only Syrian people that are dying, American people are dying. And it's for what? Like, how is Syria a threat to America, you know? But war is a dirty game, and they would do it, and they're not losing anything from their pocket, you know? But all these innocent people are dying because of the war. My friend Rama is saying no KFC, only broasted. See, we don't even have KFC in Syria because of the economic sanctions. Because KFC is a foreign company, and no foreign company is allowed to do business in Syria. Look at how skinny I am because there is no more KFC and McDonald's and Mr. Biggs. Can you see what the economic sanctions has done to my hairiness? So yeah. Okay, Omar Abdalha is saying, you can say the truth at least. Don't defend people who killed and tortured kids in Daraa in 2011. Well, I'm not defending anyone, because in the war here in Syria, innocent people died from both sides, you understand? It's the people that started holding weapons. These people are the terrorists, and these are the people that destroyed Syria. If you want to ask for something, if you have a political goal, you think the solution is for you to go and hold weapon and start killing and breaking private property and killing innocent people just because of their political opinions? What kind of dumbness is that? Like, can't you look at other countries in the world? there is a political party in charge, you will make a political opposition, come up with new laws, with new ideas. You might like say, okay, we want to change the constitution and do this instead of that. We want to do these kinds of laws instead of that. And then, provide it to the Syrian people, and then the Syrian people, if they like your ideas, in the next election, they would vote for your party or for your political leader. But for you to start holding weapons and killing in the name of your, political opinions, you're not considered, a moderate person. You're immediately considered a terrorist, a criminal. So, exactly, it's like people in Syria from all over died. So it's not only Dera, from everywhere. There is no Syrian family that hasn't lost a relative or a friend or a neighbor because of this war. And at the end of the day, we are Syrian citizens. We have nothing, like to me, I don't work for the Syrian government. I don't work for any media channel. I am a Syrian citizen living in Syria, and I am just saying what is happening, Omar said exactly my point. With smallest conflict, Al-Assad ordered guns to be used. Yeah, of course he ordered guns to be used, because you have people like ISIS and you have people like Al-Qaeda and you have all of these terrorist groups. They started doing suicide bombs. They started killing. They started saying, we want to get rid of the minorities and kill the Christians and kill the Alawis, and we want to make Syria an Islamic country, when Syria is a secular country. And this doesn't represent the Syrian people. This ideology, this Wahhabi extremist ideology, didn't come from Syria. It came from countries like Saudi Arabia. You understand? It didn't come from Syria. So it's very obvious that there were many jihadists that were entering Syria. They were coming from all over the world. They were coming from Afghanistan, from Libya, from Iraq, from Saudi Arabia, from European countries. So it's not only, Arab countries. It was coming also from European countries. Justin Trudeau, the Canadian Prime Minister, was on TV telling the Canadian public that there are Canadian ISIS fighters in Syria that are asking the government to come back to Canada. And then Justin Trudeau started bringing back all the Canadian ISIS fighters back to Canada. So you also had people from Canada, traveling to Syria to join ISIS, and people from England and people from Germany. So it was a proxy war. And that's it, you understand? Anyway, continuing about the war. Syria right now is going through a very tough time because of the economic sanctions and because of 10 years of war. And the American people need to make it very clear to their government that we don't want any war. We don't want to send our troops to fight wars that have nothing to do with, America's security. Why are we stealing their oil? Why are we, burning their oil, their wheat fields? Why are we implementing economic sanctions on the Syrian people? Because I know that the American government is telling the American people that we are not implementing economic sanctions on the people. We are implementing economic sanctions on the Syrian government. And that is one of the biggest lies, because the economic sanctions isn't hurting the government. The governments, the Syrian government, like every other government, they're corrupted people, they're rich people, they have money. You think all of these government officials are sitting in the house without electricity like the Syrian people? No, they have money, they have generator, they have fuel. They can turn generator and have electricity 24 hours. It's the Syrian people that are sitting without electricity. It's the Syrian people that are going through a bread crisis, that are going through oil crisis or fuel crisis or gas crisis or electricity crisis. It's not the Syrian government. So when the American government tells you that we are implementing economic sanctions only on the Syrian government, that's a lie. You understand? Same thing with the MasterCard and PayPal. Everyone around, like in Europe or in America or so on, all of these YouTube creators or influencers in social media, they're all able to make money online because they have a MasterCard, a PayPal account, they can connect it to their YouTube channels and start monetizing their page and so on. Even that is not allowed for the Syrian people. So explain to me how the economic sanctions is hurting the government. It's not hurting the government. It's hurting the normal people living in Syria. So it's very important that all of you guys know all of these facts, so that when Joe Biden is going to lie to you tomorrow, oh, we are doing this, and you guys will know the facts, you understand? And I've done many videos in the past. You guys can, after this live video, you can go to my channel, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram, You can check out all the videos I have done about Syria. I have explained a lot of stuff, you know, specifically in like topics. So yeah, let's see the questions. You guys, does anyone have any question? Grow Loveberry is saying, how are you, Treka? What can we pray for you about? Love listening to you. I mean, just pray that the war in Syria ends. Pray that the suffering for the Syrian people ends, because, you know, the Syrian people have been living in a war zone for the past 10 years, and this is not, you know, easy. You know, the people in Europe today, they're always complaining and crying that, oh my God, all of these lockdowns and all of these, you know, COVID laws, we can't take it anymore. And this is just the government telling you, wear a mask and social distance. So imagine you living in a country for 10 years, you know, bombs falling, like you sitting in your balcony and seeing how the bomb is falling, an explosion, and people dying and people running away, and ISIS took over, and Al-Qaeda, and you started hearing of beheadings and people getting kidnapped and suicide bombs and mimes, and seeing loved ones die, seeing half of the country running away, the economy destroyed, the buildings, the history, a lot of historical places was destroyed by ISIS and Al-Qaeda, because to them they were viewing these historical monuments as, you know, a sin, you know. When ISIS took over, they were killing Christians just for being Christians, because to them the Christian community of Syria are sinners, the Druze community of Syria are sinners, the Alawis, like they wanted to turn Syria from a secular country into an Islamic country. And me as a Syrian, I am 100% against Syria becoming an Islamic country, mainly because Syria is a very multi-religious and diverse country, meaning we have people from all religious backgrounds and ethnicities. We have Muslim Sunnis, Muslim Alawis, we have Christian Orthodox and Christian Catholics, and we have Druze, and we have Alawis, and we have people from other ethnicities like the Kurds, like the Armenians. So Syria is very diverse. It will only be unfair for you to implement an Islamic law, or like they call it Sharia law, on all of these people when not all of these people are Muslims. And you know, so that's why Syria in my eyes is beautiful, because it's very multi-religious and diverse and everyone is coexisting. You know, Syria used to be one of the safest countries in the Middle East before the war. When there was a war in Iraq and Iraq became unsafe, millions of Iraqis came to Syria because Syria was the safest country in the Middle East. Same with Lebanon. When there was a war in Lebanon in 2006, many Lebanese came to Syria because Syria was safe. It was safe and it was cheap, and all people from all backgrounds were coexisting together, and we didn't have any of these problems. It's only when Obama and Joe Biden, and of course NATO countries and Saudi Arabia and Qatar, is when all of these warmongers started sending money and financing all these terrorist and jihadist groups, and they started sending them to Syria, and that's when the problem started happening. Because these people that we were fighting, whether I'm talking about ISIS or Al-Qaeda or Jabhat al-Nusra or whatever, these people are very dangerous people, because you can't really threaten them with death, because they want to die, you understand? It's like, how can you scare somebody when this person doesn't care if he dies? Because the way they are brainwashed is this. They will tell them, go and kill and overthrow the government and take over and implement Sharia law. If you guys succeed in doing that, you guys will be heroes and you will take over, and you know, God will be very happy and proud of you. And if you don't and you die while trying to do this stuff, you will go to heaven. And when you go to heaven, God is going to give you 72 hairy virgins, and these hairy virgins, they're blonde, they're blue eyes, black hair, black skin, Asian, like all the types of beauty you will find in these 72 hairy virgins. And you can have sex with them as much as you want, and you know, you will live the life, man, you know. So this is how they brainwash these people. Huh? So these people will be like, okay, so it's a win-win situation for me. If I am able to overthrow the government, then we won. And if I die in the process of doing that, I go to heaven, so I won again, you know. So this is the kind of ideology that we are fighting. And unfortunately, these people are bringing children and they're raising the new generation in the areas they are in control of to have this mentality, to not be tolerant. You know, Syrians used to be very tolerant people, you know. You would have friends for for like 10 years and you wouldn't even ask them what religion are you. Like I had a friend that like for 7 years I never asked him like what religion are you from. Like we never ask each other these kinds of questions. We've always coexisted. It's only when these barbarians entered the country the division started happening and they started killing and you know. It's so unfortunate, and to be honest, it's not healthy to see that amount of death in your life, you know. Like when I was a kid, when I was like 10 years old, do you think I ever imagined in my whole life that I would live in a war zone for 10 years and I would live in the most dangerous country in the world, where like when you hear about your friend dying, it wouldn't be because of a health problem, it's because he either got shot or he either got kidnapped or he was walking in the street and a rocket just randomly fell and it exploded on him. Like that is not healthy. It's not good for your mental health. You know, I know a lot of people my age that are suicidal, that are depressed, that are going through depression, and I can't really blame them, you know. I'm very, very grateful that I am a strong person. I am mentally strong, you know. I never allowed any of this bullshit to, you know, break my spirit down. As you guys can see, I do videos and they're all comedy and they're all funny and satire and so on. But to be honest, the majority of the Syrians, like my age, they're not all like that, you know. A lot of people are going through depression and they have anxiety, and some people are suicidal. Every now and then you always hear of a young woman or a young male, 22 years old, committing suicide, jumping off a building. You know, it's like they've reached the point where they can't take it because, first of all, their life is constantly in danger. Second of all, there is no future. Like the economy is so destroyed to the point that you can't make money. You can't build your future. It's impossible to get married. It's impossible to be able to afford renting a house or even buy one because everything has become very expensive. I'll give you a very good example. Before the war in 2011, 50 Syrian pounds used to equal $1. So 50 Syrian pounds equaled $1. Today it's 3,250 Syrian pounds to make $1. So you can imagine how destroyed the economy is. You understand? You can imagine how the prices outside have become so expensive, while the salaries are still very, very low. So how can you expect like all of these new generations of Syrians, you know, to have hope? You know, I try to always like give them like positive energy and give them more hope. I always tell them like everything in this world is temporary. There's no war that lasted forever. This will soon be over. Focus on yourself and so on, and try, hustle and whatever. But you know, like I can't really blame when somebody reaches to the point of depression and suicidal, because it's like people process their thoughts differently, you know, and it's very unfortunate. Navy Mamdana is saying, is travel to Syria allowed? No, it is not allowed, and this is something I am honestly pissed off about it, because for the past year the Syrian government has not allowed any tourism anymore in Syria, and this is because of COVID-19. And while the whole country is open, so like in Syria we don't have lockdowns, we don't have social distancing, vaccines are not mandatory, masks are not mandatory, all the places are open, there's bar, you can go to the bar or to the club or to the restaurant or to the park. There is nothing like social distancing and no COVID laws. So the question is, Syria's economy is destroyed and tourism helps. You know, tourism will help the economy. Now, for example, Damascus city, thankfully, is a city that is safe. So, like, if tourists come and they come with normally when they come with a travel program, the Syrian government would like arrange like areas to send them, historical areas, old churches, museums, and so on that are safe. So, my question is, why aren't you opening tourism for the people? It's like, if you guys are not imposing any COVID laws in the country, so just ask the tourist or the foreigner to do a PCR test before they come to Syria. And if they don't have COVID, then why not let them enter Syria? First of all, they're going to come, they're going to have dollars, they're going to have euros, they're going to pay for hotels and food and all of this stuff. This is going to help the economy a little bit, boost a little bit. But the Syrian government is so corrupted, and they honestly don't know how to work, and they don't know how to really govern the country. Like, there are many, many laws that they come up with that is either so dumb or embarrassing. It's like Syria became a failed state, to be honest, you know. Chanihana saying, sorry, I just joined, so I apologize if you already answered. Do you understand what's going on in Afghanistan now? Some say it's Trump who is at fault for it. Others say Biden. Can you explain it? Well, Chanihana, I spoke about it at the beginning of the live video, and maybe in these 2 days I'll post a video talking about Afghanistan like specifically talk about the problems that is happening in Afghanistan. But America, it's not about Joe Biden or Trump, because what is happening in Afghanistan didn't happen in 1 year or 2 years. This has been going on for more than 20 years. You understand? So America was in Afghanistan since 2001 and 2002. And we are in 2021 today. So explain to me, what the hell was the American military doing in Afghanistan all this time? You've been there for 20 years. Like, how the hell weren't you guys able to liberate this country from the Taliban? Like, what were you doing there in 20 years? 20 years. And America is known to be to have the strongest military in the world. It's like they weren't there to even fight the Taliban. They were there, they want to take the oil, they want to keep their military bases close to Iran in case a war happens between America and Iran. The American military government will have military bases in Afghanistan, they'll have military bases in Iraq, they'll have military bases in Saudi Arabia, so they would be able military bases in Syria. So if a war happens between them and Iran, they would be attacking Iran from all directions. Iran wouldn't know what to do anymore. It's not about protecting the Afghanistani people, because earlier in the live video I also spoke about how when Afghanistan was under the control of the Soviet Union, the American government had a plan to kick out the Soviet Union out of Afghanistan. They started funding jihadist terrorist groups, which is, you know, the Taliban and Afghanistan. Started funding these jihadists and giving them money and weapons, and they were able to successfully kick out the Soviet Union using these jihadist groups. But when the Soviet Union got kicked out of Afghanistan, America didn't get rid of these terrorist groups or take away their weapons. They just kept them in the region and just left. So I mean, what do you expect to happen in Afghanistan? That these Taliban and Al-Qaeda fighters would just become musicians and start singing the Beatles songs and, you know, become hippies and start taking mushroom and talking about, you know, meeting with Jesus? You think that's what they were going to do? They are jihadists. They're going to be recruiting more and more people. And you know, in Afghanistan and all of these regions, many of them, they marry 2, 3, or 4 wives. So imagine having just 2 or 3 kids from each wife. So each jihadist will have something like 8 children. And these 8 children, if their father is an Al-Qaeda member or a Taliban member, do you think he's going to become a part of the LGBT community? No, he's going to become an ISIS or an Al-Qaeda fighter, you know? So it's like, first of all, what did America expect to happen in Afghanistan? And if the American government is talking about them wanting to defeat the Taliban in Afghanistan, my question to them is, you guys have been in Afghanistan for 20 years. What the hell were you doing there? 20 years. So either you guys can't defeat them, or you guys can but you don't want to. If you guys can't defeat them, then there is no use for you to be there. Why should American people die because of something that has nothing to do with America's security? Pull the troops back. Take the troops back home. So I don't know, man, wherever you go, you would find American military bases. Wherever you go. Syria, they are there. Iraq, they are there. Libya, they are there. Afghanistan, they are there. Saudi Arabia, they are there. In Gulf countries like Kuwait, they are there. Wherever you go, there's always American military bases. And all of this is trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in expense, that they're getting all of this money from the American taxpayers. You guys are paying for all of these atrocities. I know you guys don't want these atrocities to happen, but at the same time, I honestly don't see a movement, a powerful movement from the American people that are really making it very clear to the American government that we don't want to participate in any more wars in the Middle East. The Middle East has been messed up for the past 100 years. We are not going to be able to solve that problem, because if the Middle Eastern people are not fighting us, they're going to be fighting themselves. Because not only do the Middle Eastern people hate America, the Middle Eastern people hate each other. You understand? So it's like a fight that you guys can never solve. And no matter how good your intentions are, the people of the Middle East will always view the American military as occupiers, no matter how good your intentions are, although I doubt that the American government's intention is good. Maybe the people's intention is good, but the government, no, they're all evil. So no matter what, they will always view you guys as occupiers, the military base. So it's like, just leave. Stop killing American people, stop spending trillions of dollars on military bases, and use this money to do something productive for the American people. Try to solve the homelessness crisis. You guys were crying that it's too expensive to build a wall between America and Mexico because all of these illegal immigrants entering. So I mean, just pull out the troops and you guys can have enough money to build a wall around California too, because I know you guys don't want California to be part of America anymore. So it's like, with all of this money that America is spending in the Middle East, you guys can use this money to do a lot of good stuff for your own country, for your own people, to help the homeless people, to help the low class, to, you know, rebuild the infrastructure. I saw a video of Compton. I mean, that place is very ugly. What the hell? Rebuild the streets, Chicago, you know, all of these areas that are bad. I don't know if you guys fixed the water in Flint, Michigan, but if you guys didn't yet fix the water in Flint, Michigan, how the hell do you expect to fix the problem in Afghanistan and Syria? If it took you guys 7 years to fix the problem in Flint, Michigan, people were drinking water the color of I don't want to say it, you know, but what the hell, man? Stephen Locke is saying, you're a young man of wisdom. God bless you, sir. Thank you so much, Stephen. Chanihana is saying, helping homeless and our own citizens doesn't generate money for the elite. War does. Exactly. You think America is here because they care about the Syrian people? They would lie, oh, we are here to protect the Kurds and we are here to protect... They're not here. They're here to steal our oil and to gain power of the area. America likes to stay in control and to have more influence in the area. That's why they're all over the Middle East. Iraq, they stole their oil. Syria, same thing. Afghanistan. And they would always create an excuse, you know, because they need a reason, okay? Because American people are going to ask questions. Why are you in Syria? You understand? And they'll be like, why are we in Syria? The Kurds, yes, the Kurds, they're being oppressed. We need to protect the Kurds. So it's so funny. ISIS wants to kill the Kurds, and America is protecting the Kurds, but at the same time, America is funding ISIS. You know, when Donald Trump became president, he exposed something Obama did that I was talking about for many years, and people were calling me a conspiracy theorist. When Donald Trump became president, he stopped a CIA program. And he made it public to the American people that look at what Obama was doing in Syria. There was literally a CIA program that was done to train and fund and arm ISIS fighters in Syria. Donald Trump exposed it and he stopped that program that Obama started in Syria. So explain to me how America is in Syria to protect the Syrian people and to protect the Kurds when they were the ones that were funding ISIS and Al-Qaeda, who are the problem of the Syrian people. Our problem is ISIS and Al-Qaeda. This is our problem, you know, because ISIS and Al-Qaeda are the ones killing us. They are the ones that are beheading us and kidnapping us. And Obama did that. And a lot of American ignorant people, they make Obama seem like he's an angel. Oh, we miss the Obama days. What a gentleman he was. Well-spoken, and he danced slow dances with his husband Michael, and oh my God, Obama was the man. Obama was a criminal. Obama was a criminal. He has blood on his hands because it's not only Syria, it's Libya too. You understand? And a lot of American people, unfortunately, they're so brainwashed because all they watch is CNN and MSNBC and Fox News, and they just get all the information from there. This is the sound of the prayer. If you guys are asking who suddenly started screaming, it's the prayer from the mosque. So bear with us for 2 minutes and we will be back. Imagine you're listening to an ad or something. Kaylee's is saying, oh my God, sounds creepy. Some people might find that offensive. Desert zombie. Obama is a disgrace to the world and is worshipped by sheep. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Let me show you guys Damascus. Look at how beautiful this country is. And this is what Obama destroyed. Such a beautiful country filled with history, culture, amazing friendly people, and hairy people like me. And this is the country they are bombing. And this is the country. This is my balcony. This is my swimming pool. It's small, but yeah, 1 more minute and it will be done. Cheers. Alright, okay, I'm gonna ask, can you guys hear me clearly? If you guys can hear me clearly, I'll continue talking. If you guys can't hear me, we'll have to wait. Jackie Splain is watching the video. Hi Jackie, how are you? Rebecca's asking, is that daily? Yes, it is daily. Wow, it's really windy today. Okay, so do you guys have any questions? Everyone is saying yes. Okay, so do you guys have any questions? What do you want me to talk about? But please don't say my hairy nipples because that is private. Okay, you guys can hear me loud and clear. That's good. Alright, does anyone want to join the live video, or you can send a request and Fallon Shelby is saying, when is my birthday? My birthday is on July 13. Jackie's saying, hi Trek, I'm okay, can't wait to meet you, love you my Syrian son. I can't wait to meet you too, Jackie. When I come to America, the first state, like one of the first states that I will be visiting is your state, just to meet with you. Steven is saying, it is so good to hear the voice of real people who have to live with the shit government starts. Keep telling the truth. Well, thank you so much. Fallon is saying cancer. Yes, I am a cancer, as you can tell. Someone is asking if I get scared. I mean, look, I'm going to be honest, like maybe the first year or two, of course you're going to get scared when you hear bombs falling, and because I was also living in an area that became conquered by ISIS, you know, and I was a part of the minority groups of Syria, so they viewed me as a sinner. So killing me was something, you know, a good thing. So I had to escape that area because we started getting death threats and so on. And plus, I used to do stand-up comedy in the clubs and bars, and I used to make fun of ISIS and Al-Qaeda and their ideology and so on. So they never liked it. And that's one of the main reasons why I don't write my real full name on social media. It's part of, protecting myself and my family. But yes, the first couple of years, it was definitely scary. But unfortunately, after a while, you become used to it. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, 2 weeks ago, I was doing a video here in my balcony, and then suddenly there were gunshots happening in the street while I was here doing a video. And people were asking me, oh, Treka, like, you were making jokes while gunshots were firing and so on. It's like, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's like, when you live with this kind of stuff every single day, it's like you get used to it. That's not a good thing, and it's a good thing and not a good thing at the same time, Badr Amoura, my friend, is saying, Treka, what about Taliban and what's going on in Afghanistan now? My brother, this is like the 4th time I have spoken about Afghanistan, but it seems like every time someone new enters the live video, they ask me about it again. So I'm gonna say it for the last time. In these 2 days, I'm gonna do a video talking about the situation in Afghanistan with like informations and facts and all of this stuff once and for all. Because unfortunately, my brother, I've spoken about it for like 20 minutes now, so it's like I don't want the people that have been watching from the beginning to be like, oh my god, here he goes again, Phone Fame is saying, how many languages do you speak? I speak Arabic, I speak English, and I speak Nigerian English. There is like it's called like broken English or pidgin English. Some people call it different things. But because I was raised in Nigeria and I grew up there, so I know how to speak the local language. It's like broken English. It's similar to, it's like, how can I explain? It's close to Jamaican English, something like that. So those are the 3 languages I can speak. Sherry is saying, are you coming to the West Coast? I mean, everything is possible, I might be able to travel to America in the future. Right now, I can't travel to America because there is no American embassy in Syria. In order for a Syrian to travel to America, he needs to have a visa. And this visa, he needs to take it from an American embassy. But there is no American embassy, and there is no Canadian or Australian or European embassy in Syria, because after the war started, all the embassies got closed. Not all, but the majority of the world. So like your options are limited. So the only way for me to travel to America is if in the future I travel to a country that has an American embassy, and then from that country I'll apply to America and then travel to America. So it's possible in the future. I don't know when, but everything is possible. Let me show you my beautiful white supremacist cat. Hi, Cece. Don't run away. Listen, she ran away because she knew I was going to expose her white supremacy and her racism and all of this kind of stuff, because I've been trying, to teach her some critical race theory and all of this stuff, because, if she's white, then she's inherently racist. There's nothing she can do about it. I am also white. As you can see, I am whiter than a bag of cocaine, but I don't know, I'm Arab, so I don't know if I'm considered white or not. So I'm trying to, educate my white racist cats, because, they're white and they're racist, and, they support slavery, and they're just, I don't know what to do with them, you understand? I honestly don't know what to do with them. I'm trying to expose them every day. Sometimes I have long talks with my cat Bell. Sometimes I make him watch Rachel Maddow so that he can really be educated and so on, Sherry Bao is saying, oh my god, you will fit right in Cali with your crazy humor. I mean, yeah, it's very possible. Kayla is saying, you're so ridiculous. Ayub Anas saying, Arabs are considered white in the US. Well, not all Arabs, because believe me, I have seen some Syrians and they are very fair, and hairy. Well, I am hairy, but I am white. But the nice thing about Syria is that you would find all kinds of beauty. Meaning you would find a woman that looks like a Mexican, fair skin, black hair, dark eyes. You would find a girl or a boy, white skin, blue eyes, blonde hair. You would find someone with black hair, white skin. So it's like you would find all kinds of beauty. light skin, dark skin, light eyes, dark eyes, curly hair, blonde hair, black hair. So it's like you can find all the beauties in Syria. And that's why I honestly believe that the Syrian women are the most beautiful women, because I mean, it's like you would go to the old city, for an example, or like to a bar, and you would look and you'd be like, look at them, they're all beautiful. And if you like blondes, look, there's a blonde. If you like a fat, hairy woman, look, she's fat and hairy, look at her, you understand? It's like you find all the kinds. So that's nice. Yeah, so where were we? Okay, so we were talking about Obama. So yeah, this is what my problem is with a lot of American people. Like, most of them, they'll be like, oh, we are so embarrassed that we have Joe Biden in power, and we were so embarrassed when we had Trump. Oh my God, I wish if we had Obama for another 4 or 8 years. And I'm looking at them like, Obama was the worst. You know, like now today, if Joe Biden does anything stupid, it's because the guy has lost his brain. He's almost 90 years old, and he can't even say a complete sentence. And if he walks on the stairs, he will fall. And the guy, he has lost it. You understand? But Obama, he was completely sane, but he was also completely evil. You know, for someone to really fund ISIS and Al-Qaeda and let them destroy a country that is thousands of years old and cause millions of refugees and millions of people to die or run away or to get their lives destroyed, just for what? To overthrow a government that you dislike? I mean, don't they teach you in politics that the first thing that you need to be in order to be a politician is diplomatic? Like, you understand? It's like Obama was an evil person, and he played a very huge role in destroying Syria. I personally feel if the war in Syria never started and Trump got in power, Trump would have never done this to Syria. But when Trump took power, Syria was already destroyed. You understand? And to be honest, when Trump took power, the situation in Syria, security-wise speaking, it improved a lot. I did once a video showing everybody a map of Syria in 2015, at the end of 2015, before Trump took power, and in 2018, after 2 years of Trump being president. You would find that there was a huge difference in the liberation of Syria, meaning before Trump got in power, 65% of Syria was under the control of ISIS and Al-Qaeda. And when Trump left Syria, when Trump, stopped becoming president, 80% of Syria was liberated. You understand? It was 65% under ISIS, and when Trump left, it became 80% under the Syrian government. Why? Because Trump was focused on taking the oil and implementing economic sanctions, while Obama was focused on bombing Syria and funding ISIS and arming ISIS and making them, turn Syria into an Islamic state. And that doesn't mean Trump did a completely good job, because the truth has to be told, you understand? He did a good job and he did a bad job at the same time. A good job was that he stopped the CIA program that Obama started that was funding ISIS and Al-Qaeda and arming them and training them. This was a huge thing that Trump stopped, that made the Syrian government and the Russian government then able to liberate and attack ISIS, because they weren't getting the funds anymore that they were getting in the days of Obama. So we were able to liberate many cities. You understand? So when Trump left, the last city that was still under the control of ISIS, the last major city, it's called Idlib. Now that Joe Biden is president, Idlib is still in control of ISIS, and now we have a city called Daraa, which was liberated, and now it's under the control of the jihadists again. So now you have a city under Biden that gained control, that ISIS gained control again. You understand? The bad thing that Trump did to Syria was that he imposed the Caesar Act, which was the economic sanctions. Now, Obama implemented economic sanctions on Syria, but when Trump became president, Trump implemented like 4 times harsher economic sanctions in Syria, and that's how the economy of Syria really got destroyed. It was already destroyed, but with the Caesar Act, it got really, really, really destroyed. And these sanctions are still in place. You understand? Biden didn't remove it. Biden is still bombing Syria. He's still protecting the jihadists. He's still stealing our oil and is burning our wheat, and they're still doing propaganda. So unfortunately, Americans, I have said this before and I'll say it again, unfortunately, whoever the American president is, whether he's Republican or Democrat, the American foreign policy doesn't really change. It improved under Trump, but it didn't really change, because don't forget, when Trump was president, he promised to pull out all the troops from Syria, and he left while the troops were still in Syria. Now, some people would tell me that, yeah, the people under him were lying to him about the number of the troops in Syria, and that is a fact. So he had people under him that were saying, oh, the number of troops in Syria is something like 1,000, while the number of troops were like 7,000, you understand? But I mean, that is also part of Trump's fault. I mean, you need to keep the people under you in check and check them and see if they're lying to you or not. So he was definitely better than Obama and Biden, but he wasn't also good for Syria, unfortunately. So yeah, guys, this is the American foreign policy, unfortunately. I hope I was able to teach you guys as much as I can. And plus, look, I want to also make something clear. Some people think that when I say all of this, that, oh my God, I completely support the Syrian government and you know, I'm a big fan. No. I always talk about how they have corruption, and even in my last Facebook video, I spoke about the corruption and the laws that they do and so on. But I can't be talking always about inner policy laws to you guys, because you guys don't really care about what is happening inside Syria as inner policy. You guys care about the foreign policy and so on, the security stuff. But you know, every now and then the Syrian government comes up with new laws that are dumb, and there's a lot of corruption. The ministers, they steal a lot from the people. Every now and then they come up with laws just to tax the Syrian people more money. I'll give you an example. In Syria now, if you want to own a professional camera like a Canon or a Nikon, you need to pay the Syrian government 25,000 Syrian pounds in order for them to give you a license for you to take pictures. I mean, why should I pay them 25,000 Syrian pounds for me to take pictures with the camera I bought, you know? It's just a way to take money from the Syrian people. So it's I am allowed to take pictures in the street with my mobile phone, but I'm not allowed to take high quality pictures with my professional camera. You understand? Same with when they did a law where any Syrian living abroad, if they want to enter Syria, they have to pay an entrance fees to enter Syria. Now the Syrian government will tell you, oh no, we're not asking for entrance fees. We're telling them to give us $100 and we will give them in exchange rate Syrian pounds. When in reality, you will give them $100. They should give you 320,000 Syrian pounds. They would give you 250,000 Syrian pounds. So they're gonna take something like 100,000 to their pocket, you know? So this kind of stuff, it's the Syrian people are broke. They don't have money. They don't have a future. They're working 2 and 3 jobs just to make ends meet. And you guys are just finding new laws just to tax the people. So you understand, I also have my criticisms to my government. I never say that they are angels at all. But right now we have priorities. We have bigger problems than me talking about this silly stuff, you know. We have ISIS, we have Al-Qaeda. People are dying. People are getting kidnapped. Bombs are falling, suicide bombs, beheadings, and so on. So imagine how silly and dumb I would look doing a video. Hello guys, you heard about the new news? I have to pay 25,000 to take pictures with my you know, I would sound silly because there are bigger problems in hand. So I definitely support the Syrian army, because the Syrian army are the Syrian people, are my friends. They're my cousins, my neighbors. The Syrian army are Syrian people from all over the country that are serving in the army to protect their people and their country from all of these terrorist groups. So of course I support them and I pray for them and for their safety, because it's many people were forced to join the army. It's they didn't have any choice, you know. So I feel bad for them. I feel grateful for them and I pray for them all the time. They are good people, and they didn't deserve what happened to them and all the sacrifices that they had to do for this country, you know. It's just so sad, you know. But politicians in general, I never have respect for any politician, not a president, not a minister, not a politician, because they are all liars, they are all corrupted, they don't really care about the people, all they care is about their seat and their position in power. All they want to do is to maintain their position in power, and they don't care who pays the price, they don't care about the innocent people that have to die and get their lives destroyed because of the deals and the stuff they do, you know. I wish like in the future wars and armies will become illegal, and if a president has a problem with another president, why don't you guys call Dana White and book a UFC fighting event and you guys fight for it. Fight for it. Let Joe Biden fight with Putin, for an example. Let's see who will win. Whoever knocks the other person out would put the policies. You understand? Let, for an example, Putin and Joe Biden. Whoever wins, if Putin wins, Putin can stay in Ukraine. If Joe Biden wins, you know, Russia has to leave Ukraine. Something like that. You have a problem with Iran, let's do it. A UFC fight. Submissions or KO or TKO. These are the options for you to win. Whoever wins will put the policies. But why must you send thousands of troops to die because of you? Who the hell are you for me to die because of you? For me to sacrifice my life because of you? For me to waste years and years of my life because of you? For me to go back to my country losing a hand or an arm or having mental issues because of all the blood and the death I had to see because of you, a president. You understand? It just doesn't make sense. I wish like wars could be illegal, but it's like that's not realistic, unfortunately. And life can be cruel, but I mean, we have to do what we can to stop it, you know. We have, by spreading the truth, by spreading knowledge and awareness about these issues, it really helps, you know. And I really want to thank all of you for the support you have given me throughout the years. And what you guys are doing is correct, because I personally, when I want to know what is happening in another country, I'm not going to go and ask CNN to tell me what is happening in Afghanistan or in Syria or in Iraq. If I really want to know what is happening there, I'm going to talk to a citizen living there. I'm not going to talk to somebody that works in the government there. I'm not going to talk to somebody who's with the opposition party there. I'm going to talk to a citizen living over there for me to really know what is really going on. Because these people are not going to lie. Because this citizen, he doesn't work for the government, he doesn't work for the media, he doesn't work for the opposition. He's experiencing what all of these politicians are doing to his life. So he's going to tell you the truth. So that's my advice to all of you. If you guys want to know what's happening in Syria, in Iraq, whatever, whichever country, talk to people living there that don't work for the government, don't work for the opposition, and don't work for the media, because that's the way you will really know the truth. Because that person, he has no reason to lie to you. He's not getting paid by anyone. He's not going to gain anything if he does propaganda. He's just going to tell you what is. So, yes. Jendi is saying, thank you, Treka. I learned so much from you, and tell my friends and family about you. Thank you so much, Jendi. I really appreciate it. And to all you guys that share my profile and share my videos to your story, or like recommend my page to your friends, I honestly and seriously appreciate it, because by you guys sharing this stuff, you guys allow me to spread the message and the truth to more people and to reach out to more people. Because a lot of people, unfortunately, are being brainwashed by their politicians and by their mainstream media and so on, you know. So it's their right to know what is really going on, because it's them that is paying for it. It's from their tax dollars. These wars are happening. It's from the tax dollars of the American people. So no, you guys have a right to know where your money is going. Jean is saying, how's the Chinese food in Syria? Well, I have never... The bat is amazing. You should taste the bat, my friend. Oh my god. Bats in Syria, the Chinese... No, I'm joking. Yeah, the Chinese food is good. They don't serve bats in Syria. They only serve dogs. But I mean, Chinese food is okay. I mean, I'm a fan and not a fan. It's like I'm not like a huge Chinese food lover, so I don't really go to Chinese restaurants. I went like a couple of times and that was it. But yeah, people like Asian foods like this. They also like order sushi from like Japanese restaurants and so on. Kaylee's is saying bat soup is what's up. See, that's a girl that knows, you know. Bat soup is the best, you know. It will like create a pandemic all over the world. Desert Zombie saying, do you get decent weed there? I don't smoke weed. I don't even know what you're talking about. Wink, wink. Yudhishri is saying, got to go. Thank you so much. Well, goodbye. Take care and drive safely and wish you the best. Oh my God, it's getting dark. Okay, guys, let me show you this beautiful view that you guys didn't get to see at the beginning of the live video. 1 second. Look at Damascus at night. Please tell me that this view isn't majestic. Convince me that this view isn't beautiful. What a beautiful city at night and in the morning. So let me explain something really important. You see this side over here where there is lights? Here they have electricity. You see this side? There are also buildings over here, but now they don't have electricity. That's why this place is off. Now after an hour or so, you will see this place will become on and this place will become off. Then this place will become on. You understand? So it's like, see, this place is off. But these are all areas. So like they would cut electricity for like 3 hours here, then they will bring it here for 3 hours. Then they will cut it here, then bring it here, and it's like that. And sometimes it depends on the electricity crisis. Sometimes they will cut it for 5 hours and then bring it for 1 hour. And then they will cut it for 5 hours and bring it for 1 hour. It's crazy, you know, like you never really know how long they're gonna cut the electricity. But this is Damascus, Syria. And that's it, my friends. Anyways, I'm gonna be ending this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.